Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for your patience and waiting for a new episode. It's been a long, warm summer here. Now that the weather is cooling down, we should be able to get back on track with our videos. So today we're going to be starting off with a very simple recipe, classic shortbread recipe that I have here that we've been making in our family. I'd like to share with you, so let's begin. To begin our shortbread cookies today, we're going to be adding a half a cup or 115 grams of unsalted butter or margarine to our bowl. And we're going to stir that up to soften it first before we add anything else. So let's start with that. Okay, and I'm going to use my wooden spoon today just because it's going to help me soften this up a little bit better. Okay. You, of course, can use a little mixer for this, a handheld mixer, or your stand mixer if you have one. For the purposes of this video, we're just going to do it by hand so that you can see exactly what's going on. Okay. So we've softened that now. We're going to add our icing sugar or confectioner sugar. It's going to be a quarter cup. So it's a quarter cup or approximately 30 grams, depending on what you're doing today, if it's measuring cups or if you're using your weight scale. The next thing we're going to add is going to be brown sugar. It's going to be a quarter cup of packed brown sugar or 55 grams. All right, I'll stir this in as well. Nice. Okay, so we stirred that up. Now we are going to get our dry ingredients ready, so we'll be right back to do that in a moment. So I am going to add just a quarter teaspoon of vanilla to the shortbread cookies. You do not have to add that if you do not want to. We just really like the taste of vanilla in this out. Okay, and just stirring again. Okay. Now we will go over to our dry ingredients bowl. We'll switch bowls here. And to our bowl for the dry ingredients, we're going to be adding 1 1/4 cup of flour, or about 180 grams. Next, we will be adding 1 teaspoon of salt. That's about 6 grams of salt. And next, I'm adding a quarter teaspoon of allspice, cinnamon, and nutmeg to our cookies. We just like a little bit of flavor that is added by doing that. If you prefer to just leave it plain, then that's up to you, or you can add your favorite spice. So that'll be 1 teaspoon altogether. Like I said, I just averaged a little allspice, cinnamon, and nutmeg mix. So about a quarter teaspoon of each if you're doing it that way. All total, about 2 to 3 grams of spices. Okay. Then right, perfect. All right, so that's really all there is to shortbread cookies for the dry ingredients for us. Give it a little stir here. And blend everything through. Of course, the recipe, as always, will be down in the description. It's a very simple recipe if you want to throw this together on a nice fall day. All right. Okay, so we're going to get this all mixed together. Now, you can absolutely do this by hand, as I mentioned. But for this one section, we are going to use the handheld mixer just to get everything really nicely blended. Want our shortbread cookie very smooth and even texture. So just let me get this started by hand. I'll switch to the mixer. Just going to go off camera for the mixer because it gets a bit noisy, I find. And then I'll be back to show you what that looks like once it's all blended together. So I've blended everything together. So with my gloved hand, I'm just going to mold the shortbread into a ball. And we are going to be wrapping this in plastic wrap once we have it shaped into a ball. We're going to let it rest for 20 minutes and then we'll go on to the next step. Have to be patient. This is going to take a few minutes. But for you, only seconds, because I'm not going to make you watch all of that. Bring it into a ball, like I said. So we're back now. We're going to roll our dough out. I do find it easier sometimes to roll it on a piece of the silicone mat if you have one. If not, you can just lightly flour your counter and roll it out as you normally would with other cookies. I'm breaking it into smaller, more manageable pieces to roll out. And you can see it's gotten quite a bit easier to handle now. It's softened up a little. So just continuing, bring it together here a little bit. All right, now, if you put a piece of parchment paper on top of this, the dough won't be sticking to your rolling pin as much as normal. There we go. And you get it to your desired thickness. I like the shortbread to be thin, a little bit crispy, with a really nice cup of tea. But of course, you want to adapt that to what you like. So if you like your shortbread a little bit thicker, please go ahead and do so. All right, using our cutter. I just re-roll any extra, not a big deal. Easy to lift with your bench scraper if you have one. The thinner edge allows you to lift it right off the silicone without damaging the mat. Okay. And like I said, it gets more pliable as you handle it. So all right. And again, just much easier, I find, to grab your parchment paper, roll it to your desired thickness again, and just continuing on with the rest of the cookies. I'll show you what it looks like when I get them all on the cookie sheet. So back to just quickly show you that have all this shortbread cut out and added to the parchment lined baking sheet. So the oven has been preheating at 300 degrees. And we will be baking the cookies for 15 to 20 minutes. I use the full 20 minutes in our oven just to get a nice crispness to it. But I would definitely start checking it at 15 minutes depending on your oven. And then go from there. So we're back. Our cookies are done. I'm going to move them over to the cookie rack to cool down. And then I'll move it over to the plate to show you what that looks like. So our cookies are done. They cooled on a cake rack for about 15 minutes, and then I transferred it to the plate to show you what it looks like. It is a very simple recipe today, but one that I hope you will give it a try. As always, I want to make my recipes approachable and easy. If you give it a try, please let us know in the comments, and until next time, take care.